Defying death. Dude's Craigslist date is actually a wannabe serial killer. Ooh, exciting. One LYNNWOOD, Washington dude is likely to be alive this week after his Craigslist date punctured his lung with a knife. The unidentified victim reportedly told cops he met the woman, identified as Amy Brown, through the listing site on Sunday. Things sure must have heated up on said date, because the two soon booked a room at a motel named the Rodeo Inn. Classy. Brown reportedly asked the guy if he was a serial killer several times, to which he replied, no. She then mounted him and said, "Well, I am a serial killer," then penetrated him in the chest with a pocket knife. Brown's weight held the victim down, but despite his punctured lung, the man amazingly mustered enough strength to fight her off. He called the cops from the hotel and they arrested her in the parking lot. Brown later told the cops, "I'm a loon," and said she wanted to eat the man's heart before going on a murder spree. Well, at least she's honest. Keep watching for more cray-cray Craigslist murder stories.
Newlyweds Elliot and Miranda Barber decided to celebrate their 3-week wedding anniversary together by killing a man for fun in Pennsylvania. The couple first tricked their victim, Troy LaFerrara, through an online dating advertisement placed on Craigslist. Elliot Barber hid under a blanket in the backseat of the SUV as Miranda Barber drove to pick up the victim at a mall north of Harrisburg. After parking the car, on his wife's signal, Elliot wrapped a cord around LaFerrara's neck while Miranda proceeded to stab him about 20 times. The dastardly duo then dumped his body in an alley in Sunbury and did what any happily married couple would do afterwards. They went out and had a lovely meal at a strip club. According to local media reports, Elliot and Miranda were arrested last week and face multiple criminal homicide and assault charges. They are being held without bail. Guess they won't be able to celebrate that 4-week anniversary.
On November 11th, 19-year-old Miranda Barber met with 42-year-old Troy LaFerrara in the parking lot of Susquehanna Valley Mall in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, about 50 miles north of Harrisburg. The two had met on Craigslist, and Barber agreed to have sex with LaFerrara for $100. Barber said LaFerrara groped her while they were in her Honda CR-V. Then she lied and told him she had just turned 16. LaFerrara said that was okay, which was the wrong thing to say. On Barber's signal, her husband, Elliot, who had been hiding on the floor of the back seat under a blanket, sprang up and strangled LaFerrara with a cord. Then Miranda pulled out a knife and stabbed him to death. Court reports say LaFerrara was knifed more than 20 times. The Barbers are now in custody and Miranda may face the death penalty. However, new information has surfaced in the gruesome story. Miranda has come forward to confess to having killed more than 22 people from Alaska to North Carolina. The mother of one claims she was sexually molested by a relative at the age of 4, then initiated into a satanic cult at 13, which is when she first killed someone. She said that the leader of the cult asked her to kill a man who had owed him money, and when she hesitated with the gun in her hand, he wrapped his own hand around hers and forced her to pull the trigger. While part of the cult, she participated in several murders. Then, after falling pregnant by the cult's second-in-command, who was later murdered, she moved to North Carolina to start her life over again. Miranda and Elliot married 3 weeks before the murder of LaFerrara. She claims that she only killed bad people, and that if LaFerrara had refused her after she had lied about her age, she would have let him go.
Craigslist triple murder in Michigan. A pregnant Michigan teenager was strangled and her boyfriend decapitated after apparently arranging a sexual encounter with a stranger they met online through Craigslist. 18-year-old Brooke Slocum met 31-year-old Brady Ostrike through a Craigslist ad and arranged a sexual encounter where her boyfriend, Charles Openier, 25, would watch. Last Wednesday, Openier's body was found decapitated in a woody area off Kazan Court after police noticed his abandoned car sitting for several days. As police were waiting for a warrant to search Ostrike's house Thursday night, he fled in a car, leading police on a car chase. Ostrike eventually crashed at the corner of Burton and US 151 and then took his own life. That's when police discovered Slocum's body in the trunk of the car. Authorities collected at least 400 items from Ostrike's home, including firearms, ammunition, and knives. They also seized several electronic items and possessions belonging to both victims.
A DC lawyer looking for gay sex on Craigslist was stabbed to death. 21-year-old Jamira Galmon was arrested on Wednesday for the February 9th fatal shooting of a 30-year-old married lawyer in DC. Police found lawyer David Messerschmidt was soliciting men over Craigslist, and Galmon, using a non-gender-specific username, responded. Galmon claimed she only had the intention of robbing Messerschmidt, but tried to back out when she arrived at his room at the Donovan Hotel. But Messerschmidt grabbed her, causing her to have flashbacks of a previous assault, resulting in her to stab him several times with a knife. Messerschmidt's body was found zip-tied and his credit card scattered across the room. He suffered multiple stab wounds to the torso, hands, and back. Police later viewed the surveillance footage and eventually were able to identify Galmon. Galmon met with investigators on Wednesday and was charged with first-degree murder.